Last time on Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
I was with Eve. Eve, huh? Eve the black cat. Yes, she has always been my dear friend. What a bizarre coincidence. Dark Law isn't my real name.
What? Then, wait, I'm gonna... Phoenix. Phoenix.
Nicholas.
Let's do a bit... Let's read between the lines a little bit. Then what is your real name?
It's... Eve.
Oh, well, geez, I couldn't have seen that one coming. What is it that you want?
What I want. My aim is to make the truth known, so that everything returns to how it should be.
Now, let us contemplate the following scenario. What would happen if the bell of ruin were sounded during the fire festival?
Everyone who heard it would fall unconscious.
On the night of the fire festival, over 10 years ago, all the residents instantly lost consciousness when the bell was struck. Had it been even just slightly windy that day, the fires lit for the Great Witch Bezella would have gone out of control, and they would spread throughout the town with no one left to stop them.
Daddy says Bezella will come out if I ring the bell, but if I do it just a little, I want to try it while the festival is going on. I hope Eve doesn't forget her mum's pendant.
No,
Don't worry so much. I just really wanted to ring that bell. I want to hear it.
Oh, bother!
I'm afraid we're in the dark as regards to Miss Darklaw's sense of deja vu. You could say that we are in the dark.
Law.
Damn it, Sarah! Damn it, that was my banana! And you took it from me! Because...
The blue moon where Pete makes a pun has passed, and with it, he shall not make another joke for another 6 months.
We had been grasping at straws, trying to find a way to save Ispella's mind. But whatever we did, her eyes would remain impassive and empty. In the end, I came upon a certain idea that offered us a glimpse of hope.
So I think this one, right? Handmade picture book of witches?
Yes.
Have a look. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Disillusioned Players, Professor Layton, that's me, versus Phoenix Wright, the other guy, Ace Attorney.
Hey!
Where they play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes passably.
I'm Pete.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm... Objection. Wait, no. Taylor.
Cool. Let's get into it, shall we,
Sure,
team?
what happened here?
No, it seems a train wreck. That's what, Luke. As flipping usual. Alrighty.
Okay, the world's most elaborate lie.
Yeah, this is like if instead of telling your kids about Santa Claus, the truth about Santa Claus, you instead decided to go to the North Pole, build a workshop, then devise a sleigh that would fly around the world specifically so you could drop presents down your own chimney.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then other people would see it, and so then you'd have to expand it and actually start delivering presents to other people, because otherwise there would be some sort of big conspiracy about why are all the presents only going to that one house.
Yeah, there is
so,
that.
Right, and then you have to hire elves, and then you're hiring a Mrs. Claus, and then suddenly the whole thing gets out of hand.
Hiring a Mrs. Claus because no one will marry me.
Oh, dear me.
Just like me in reality, pal.
Yeah,
Stop it, you.
Yeah, it's weird. It is a strange place to be, isn't it? Because, like, on the one hand, you kind of feel bad for him, but on the other hand, you kind of like, this has got so out of hand.
This is the making of your own hubris.
Yeah,
It's like, Mr. Cantabella, could you not have perhaps used your billions of dollars that you spent on this elaborate project and instead perhaps hired an intensive and extremely skilled therapist?
You could have got therapy for cheaper.
But that government
I know therapy's
funding.
expensive, but Gordon Bennett.
But the sweet allure of that government funding, yo.
Well, I mean...
Not to mention being able to play with the forbidden fruit.
But guys,
of hypnosis
why would the government want to sponsor a long-term hypnosis project? That's just weird.
Yeah.
No government would want that.
Yeah,
No,
I can't see a place where that'd be useful.
Self-gain.
Okay. You devised that plan solely for the sake of your daughter?
Yes.
You
We
bloody
acquired
loony.
the land which had been laid to waste by the fire. The new town, I almost read that as Newton, was slowly becoming populated. Gradually, the rules of Labyrinthia were established. It was to be a town where magic and witches were a reality to the residents. All of this was possible thanks to the drug.
The test subjects were exposed to it through the ink used to pen the story, right? I don't know why I opened the Grand Grimoire here, but that's fine.
Because he's wanting to expose himself to a bit more, apparently. It's the good stuff.
That's right. It was the dangerous drug developed by Newton.
No, new
And
town.
I thought,
Taylor?
what better way to test the side effects than to use it in the water supply? About 10 years have passed since then. Even now, the town continues to change.
I love the complete lack of acknowledgement.
I know.
Sarah. I got
Wait.
it, Chuck.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't hear me.
You said, did you,
You
not?
said when you said Newton, I
Newton's
went, no,
dangerous
Taylor,
dr-
you mean Newtown?
Newton's dangerous drug.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Newt.
Sarah, Stop apologizing. You don't need to apologize for being funny.
I was being mean.
Yeah.
Ew, bloody hell.
Where the devil is Luke?
Yeah, I know, right? He's just gone. Project Labyrinthia.
I'm starting to worry that he might have fallen in a ditch or something, and
Yeah,
because
he's
we're
just
all
left
here, we can't help him.
It's so cold.
And he's
Oh no!
he's abandoned all alone.
It's going dark.
Oh, no!
And all this was done for one girl.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
like that
Are
one
you
thing
out
where
of
it's,
your bloody mind?
It is funny when you say it like that. It does kind of seem a little bit absurd, doesn't it, Judge?
I know.
no, it's like that one thing from 2.5 Men. Where it's like, I'm sure I've forgotten something. Well, if you forgot about it, it probably wasn't that important. And it's just Luke standing by himself in the rain. He's like, well, the professor said he was going to come and get me before he went to court. But, I'm sure he's on his way. Ha 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 ha. Oh, those are some hungry-looking wolves.
It's like, core blimey, this part of the town's really quiet. It's almost like everybody's gone somewhere. I wonder where they've gone. Really, maybe I should go check it out. But the professor did say...
But as soon as I go, the professor's going to come and look for me.
Yep.
He wouldn't forget.
Yep.
Espella was only able to be herself when she lived within my story. Oh, the irony of it. Only within a world in which Bezala was real could Espella's tragic memories be sealed. All this while Eve was assisting me.
Yeah, this does feel a little bit like he really should have hired a therapist.
Have you ever heard of sunk cost?
I was the first shade.
Huh?
As soon as the story began, I disappeared from the scene. If Espella was to see some magic, then someone had to don this robe. That's the robe of invisibility!
Yeah, are they going to explain how that one works?
Yeah.
I gave Espella new memories, so that she could live in this town with everyone else. I also sealed the memory of her friend, Eve.
What?
My existence was too strongly connected to her memory of the fire. Afterwards, I returned as Darklaw, a stranger to Isabella.
But even if you were doing this for Isabela's sake, that's just going too far.
No, it's fine. I gave her a
did try
cat.
to tell him.
Like,
but,
no,
well,
it's fine. I gave her a cat with the same name, so she'd always still have her friend.
I made that choice. I do not regret the past 10 years. Meanwhile, my father was supporting Labyrinthia from behind the scenes, in his own way.
You mean his contributions as an alchemist?
Can't talk. My father's knowledge of medicine was indispensable for this town to function.
Yeah, like his modern medicine disguised as little potions.
Alchemy.
Yes.
The hallucinogenic ink was my father's work as well.
So it was. Newton and Eve sacrificed more than anyone else for the sake of Isabella in this town.
In fact, actually, my contributions were rather villainous in the end. I actually wasn't able to scientifically contribute anything. However, I did make up the elaborate ruse and make use of Newton's research for my own
most
gain.
importantly, I had the oodles and oodles of money that was needed to finance this whole thing.
Yeah. And I am still sitting on it. I will give it to them eventually. Maybe, maybe kind of, probably not, but anyway.
Just like Scrooge McDuck in his bag of money, just swimming around in
Yeah,
it.
that's the room in the tower that we didn't find.
Yeah.
I will be forever indebted to them.
Yeah, no kidding.
We wanted to save Isabella just like you.
And then this dude had to come in with his top hat and unravel, by tugging at a single loose thread, the entirety of my work over the past 10 years!
My elaborate sweater ruined!
Oh, God, sweater.
But
The
then
elaborate
there's
spectre of
still something I don't understand. How did the rope make him invisible? No. Oh. Why were you trying to destroy this fake world? In the end, you chose to betray Isabella and Mr. Cantabella.
Oh, but I have told you already, have I not?
It was your revenge against Mr. Cantabella for choosing to end the story, correct?
I wonder whether that was the true reason.
Professor?
Would Miss Belduke really betray them merely because she did not want the story to end? I dare say there was another, considerably more important
Does
reason.
she blame him for her
What
father's
happened?
death?
I would
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
probably.
She had another reason?
I sense another have a look coming.
Yes, me too.
Have a look. No need to frown in dismay, Mr. Wright. Please leave this to me.
Well then, let's hear what the Inquisition has to say. What other reason led the witness to betray Mr. Cantabella?
Have a look. This letter was Miss Belduke's real motive. The one piece of evidence we haven't presented yet, by the way.
What is this? I think I've seen this before.
That's the letter written by Mr. Belduke for Mr. Cantabella. It's also Mr. Belduke's suicide. Oh.
My dear friend, I hope you can forgive me for leaving this world of my own will. What I have done cannot be forgiven. I can never escape from it.
Something was tormenting Mr. Belduke. It became too much for him to bear, and drove him to suicide.
These past 10 years, I thought Father was glad to be helping Cantabella. But little did I know, he was suffering terrible anguish all that time.
What?
Nani?
Cantabella twisted the lives of so many people for the sake of his daughter. Was the story not but a glorified lie, stripping so many of what little happiness they had?
I don't remember if that was the original voice for him, but, you know.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
All those years, Father was racked by a crushing sense of guilt.
His agony culminated in the incident of 3 months ago.
Mr. Belduke's death.
So, does that make sense to you now, Taylor?
Yeah, why he was so freaked out about the bell tower.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Before Labyrinthia was created, certain things had to be concealed in order to seal Aspella's memories. Had she seen them, she would have remembered. It was simply too dangerous to her. One of them was me. Aspella's friend Eve had to be reborn as a shade and disappear into the forest. The next thing was the bell tower.
I see. Had she seen it, it would have been certain to stir up those traumatic memories. Memories of the legendary fire.
The only way to prevent that was to erase the bell tower from Labyrinthia.
The only way to prevent that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said it wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Never mind.
The only way to prevent that was to just, what was it, remove the bell tower,
Yeah, doesn't
erase
matter.
the bell tower
Doesn't
from
matter.
Labyrinthia.
But how could you do that?
Using the same method as with this robe.
The robe of invisibility.
I know how to make them, you know.
In short, we covered up the tower with a huge robe. Although it wasn't as easy as it sounds.
And that explains why when the lightning hit it, if it was fabric,
It'd
it caught fire.
Yeah.
In other words, the bell tower had been there all this time.
And people didn't bump into it by
Didn't
accident.
run into it, yeah. I guess it's a good thing there's no stiff winds in Labyrinthia either.
Well, there could have been ropes around it or something to keep it, to keep
But
it.
are they going to explain how the robe makes people invisible?
Well, I mean,
Have to see.
you'll just have to wait and see, won't you, Taylor?
Only the townspeople couldn't see it. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Besides, we know that if the robe's perfectly clean, it disappears. The only reason we can see the one in our court record is because it's covered in flour.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
What it is, right, is it's covered in lots and lots of tiny little cameras and, and flexible OLED displays.
Oh my god.
And the cameras on one side project what they see onto the other side. That's definitely
There
it.
we go.
That's it.
Pete's rumbled it.
That's 100% definite.
What I'm guessing is that, like, it's, the hypnosis, the hypnotic suggestion basically makes them ignore anyone who's wearing a robe of a specific color or whatever.
Well, maybe. I think the camera's idea is better. At any rate, the situation changed due to that lightning strike 3 months ago, did it not?
It was a most unfortunate accident. The lightning set the bell tower's cover on fire. That cover was quickly consumed by flames, revealing that abominable bell tower. The beginning of all of this, the Bell of Ruin appeared before us. 'Twas mockery of our efforts.
That tower emerging from the flames must have seemed like a sign of divine anger to Mr. Belduke. A sign that no matter how you attempt to conceal your sins, the truth will eventually float up to the surface.
Having realized this, Father chose death.
He was such a kind-hearted man. I didn't have an inkling of what he had been going through.
To him, the participation of Labyrinthia's people within this project was not voluntary. Even though they had themselves signed the contract, I believe he felt those people were being deceived.
Father took his life because of you, Cantabella!
Ugh.
Well, what do you say to that, really? I don't know what to say.
Now you know why I did what I did. I lost my father 3 months ago. That day my revenge began.
Your revenge?
No, sirs, your revenge?
No, revenge.
The first step of my plan was to rewrite the story.
What did you say?
As president of Labyrinthia Inc., you had to spend most of your time in London. Over the past few years, you were coming to Labyrinthia only for the parades. So naturally, I knew you would never notice if the stories were slightly changed.
That explains it. Couldn't help thinking there was something strange going on. Mr. Cantabella is Aspella's father, after all. He wouldn't have made Aspella a witch in his story. Aspella was... a witch? When did that happen?
Great parent.
When I wrote it in there.
How could you have known, after all? Let me fill you in on the details. Aspella has already been tried once within the Witch's Court.
Impossible. Why? How could you? You knew the risks that would carry.
Look at you. What a fine author of that grand story you are.
Well, thank you.
You left all the work in Labyrinthia to me. Meanwhile, you were making millions for yourself in London.
Oh, I'm beginning to think that compliment wasn't sincere.
What a pathetic excuse for a father. You didn't even notice that your precious little Aspella was in such danger.
Miss Belduke, why did you do that to Aspella?
Do you even need to ask?
Yeah, I feel like that might be a little obvious for Layton to ask.
I did it to unlock her memories.
You mean...
When the legendary fire took place, Aspella was so traumatized that she closed herself off to the world. We're just little girls then. The tragic accident was too much for us to handle. This fictitious town was created as a facade to keep the truth away from Aspella. But the weight of all these lies led my father to his suicide. Despite that, the person responsible for all this carried on as if nothing had happened. I couldn't forgive him. As Belduke's bereaved daughter, I had to have my revenge against both Cantabellas. Judge! This is the whole truth. Now you know the true identity of Bezella.
Objection! You say this is the whole truth. But is that really the case?
Oh, why
Oh,
must
come
you go
on! Professor?
What are you going on about now?
We have been provided with a clear picture of what happened to Espella so long ago. Nevertheless, we haven't yet heard your testimony.
Don't be ridiculous.
This will be the last testimony in this trial. Tell us about the night of the legendary fire. I request that you tell us your story.
No. Who do you think you are, Inquisitor?
Professor Layton.
I go by many names. But for now,
I have a few choice ones myself.
you can call me Professor Layton.
That's right.
Puzzle
Even
solver
if he did leave me in a
extraordinary.
ditch to die.
Don't worry, Luke. I'll come and find you later.
He's right there with Carmine, actually.
I had a little
outside of Labyrinthia.
accidente.
Oh, he got sent back to London.
Oh.
I am merely one of the supporting characters within this tale. However,
Even though my name's first in the title.
however, I am very much interested in the truth.
This has been a very long trial, of which this shall be the last interrogation, and I promise you it will be. There's no second chances with me. The court demands that the single other witness of the legendary fire provide us with her testimony.
The single one. And I do mean the single one, because at this point it's starting to stretch the bounds of what could be considered reasonable for a court case. This is actually lasting as long as a real trial would, and that's not supposed to be how it works.
Very well. There is only one truth. Nothing can change that.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Bring it. Espella wanted to ring the bell no matter what, so we went up to the belfry. The festival celebrations had already started. The mechanism for ringing the bell was at a height even we could reach.
Again, that one was a very questionable design choice on my part.
The next thing I remember is coming to, running to Espella's side. I was shaking her until she finally opened her eyes. The next moment, I saw that nightmarish view. All strength abandoned us, and we didn't know what to do. That was when we were found by my father and Mr. Cantabella.
The bell could only be rung with a special mechanism.
That's right. It was made in such a way that even a child could use it. Again, not a particularly
Wait a
bright
minute.
idea.
The hubris once again.
It was probably constructed by my father. I suppose he wanted to make it possible for anyone to ring that bell.
Yeah, before they
I
realized.
can design things as well, Eve. It wasn't just your father.
In light of the events that followed, that was clearly a very foolish decision.
Yes, well, hindsight, 2020, etc.
A mechanism for ringing the bell. I noticed something like that on a pillar when we went to the belfry earlier. And then I had to bat Maya's hand to keep her away from it.
Yeah,
I better make
really
a note of
hurt.
it in the court record.
Okay, even a child can use. Okay.
This seems very much like we have another objection.
Oh dear. Fate can certainly be cruel.
I have to agree. If only we had not discovered those ruins and brought that bell to our town. Or if only we could have deciphered those ancient writings a little earlier. Moreover, if only the groundwater in this area didn't cause that strange condition. I mean, really, the odds for all of these things happening in this manner are quite astronomical.
Unfortunately, Mr. Cantabella, the tragedy occurred.
Yes, it was the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in Espella's history.
Yes, it quite All that remains for us to do is seek out the truth.
What is the truth that we're still missing, Layton?
Not for the sake of vengeance, but for the sake of the future. Mr. Wright.
Who? What? Yes, yeah?
You have been fighting fiercely to uncover the truth. This is the final interrogation. I trust you know what to do.
Yeah,
Press
Nick.
everything. You got it.
Yeah, Nick, do you know
Leave
what
it to me.
Oh, here we go. The
To
monologue.
be honest, I have no idea what lies ahead. Whatever it is, there's no question we need to get to the bottom of it.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of Darklaw's story no matter what.
I
There's got to
don't
be
like
light
how
at
you
the end.
hesitated.
There's got to be light at the end of this tunnel.
Swing.
Boom.
All right then, ladies and gents, let's do it.
Ladies,
There's more than one lady?
hold it! You needed both pendants to access the belfry, correct?
Espella asked me to bring my mother's pendant, so I did.
That wasn't the only requirement, however. You also needed to solve a puzzle in order to use the contraption.
I've always been a master puzzle solver.
Oh my.
For me, it was child's play. Literally.
Because I was a child.
She solved it when she was a little girl? What's your excuse, Nick?
Oh! Hey! I have different talents!
Uh-huh. I'm still trying to find him.
Oh!
Oh.
Espella and Eve were best friends at the time. Eve is 2 years older than Espella. She used to be like a big sister to her.
Although, in fairness, you know, when you're friends, it's kind of like being friends with someone in childhood, and then the rest of your life being spent dedicated to someone that you no longer really spend any time with.
So, the two of you went to the belfry. What happened next?
Hold it! So, even a little girl could ring the bell.
Yes, easily.
I intended to make it so that the bell would only be rung on special occasions. That's exactly why I put that puzzle in place, to restrict access.
You also...
Now, admittedly, there are probably other options I could have used to secure it, much like how the puzzles I used to secure my tower weren't the best security option I could have figured out.
Mr. Cantabella, there will be plenty of time for you to excuse your hubris in the future. You also divided the key to the belfry into two components, as an extra precaution.
I was careful. But the same cannot be said of Newton, who constructed the mechanism as a whole. He presumably wished to make it so that even our young daughters could use it, meaning strength was not a requirement.
And that became his undoing.
By the way, how old were the girls at that time?
Espella was 6 and Eve was 8.
I see.
That mechanism was the last thing I saw before falling unconscious. And then...
Hold it! Do you mean that you fell unconscious after the bell was struck?
Yes, I believe so.
Our peculiar condition causes an instant reaction. The brain probably doesn't even have time to
Register the sound.
before consciousness is lost.
It was almost as if a slice of time had been stolen from my life. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the floor. I lifted my head and saw Espella lying nearby. I sprang to my feet and ran to her side.
And what about the situation in the town at that time?
Everyone
Fire.
was very crispy. I was preoccupied with the speller, so I didn't notice it to begin with.
At that time, was the speller still unconscious?
Yes. I panicked a little and took her in my arms, hoping she'd wake up.
Hold it! So it was you who woke... Oh, I don't know why I said that in such an accusatory fashion. So it was you who woke Espella up, witness?
Yes, it was me. She was out cold, curled upon the floor until I shook her awake. As soon as she came to, she turned to look at the town. That nightmarish view stretching out before us.
When you say nightmarish view,
I can find no other words to describe it. We froze in terror at the sight. It took us a while to notice that smoke was creeping up the bell tower, too. Our eyes filled up with tears and we couldn't stop crying. Perhaps because of the smoke. The town seemed like a fire dragon's playground. I was trembling with terror unlike anything I've known before.
Dear me. Merely imagining it now raises the hairs on my beard.
because I don't have any on my neck.
Or my head, for that matter.
Yes.
Hold it! You didn't leave the belfry until their arrival?
Of course not. We were paralyzed with fear. It was an event so traumatizing it still haunts us. Espella fainted again when she saw the fire dragon. I was crying and wailing until our fathers found us.
We went to the bell tower as it was a good vantage point.
Except how did they get up into the belfry if they didn't have the key?
Well, presumably the ladder was down. The stairs were down.
So you mean the stepladder?
No, I mean the stairs. It's not a... I know what you're doing, but it's not like that. It's a full-on staircase that comes down.
We weren't expecting to find our daughters there.
Of course. Neither suspected at that point that the disaster had been caused by the Bell of Ruin.
Eve was in tears, sobbing violently. As for Espella, she was in a daze. Her face frozen in an expression of disbelief. She didn't know what was happening around her.
I cannot say this with certainty, as my memories are a little vague. But I think I was trying to protect her.
Oh.
I heard a noise.
I did, and I can't move a cursor.
Oh.
I can't move anything.
Maybe not. Perhaps it's just my imagination.
Now you can, maybe?
At any rate.
No, let me try... Oh, wait, why... Is my controller just doing the thing of, like, I'm just not gonna work? Why... what are you doing, controller? Why? Usually it lets me Usually it lets me... Okay, whatever. It's obviously messing up. So Storyteller has something there.
Yeah. Hang on! Mr. Cantabella?
I remember that very well. As if it happened yesterday.
Cantabella!
Would you mind telling us what you saw?
Eve! Espella! Are you all right?
Daddy! Daddy!
Eve! What on earth happened here?
It was Bazella! Bazella the witch!
Bazella! What are you talking about?
Bazella comes out whenever someone rings the bell, right?
What? What have you done? You didn't!
Oh, please, Mr. Cantabella! Don't be angry at Espella!
Eve said it with the most
Oh, look, Espella's snapped out of it.
I noticed that.
The most serious look on her face.
Please, Mr. Catabella, don't be angry at her.
When she said it like that, I grasped the situation. I realized what had transpired in the belfry. And I thought to myself, I must protect these children.
E.
Oh, that's a speller, yeah.
Eve? I'm so sorry, Eve. Spella.
Espella! Sweetie.
Dad, please forgive me. You've done all this for me.
Espella, you're with us again.
All this for me.
Well, well. At last, it would appear we are one step away from the truth.
Professor! You seem to already know what the truth is.
Well, my boy, do I? That remains to be seen. Continue the interrogation, and we shall all know soon enough.
Very well. Court agrees with Inquisitor Layton.
Dang
Witness,
straight.
continue your testimony.
No, I'm just like, poor Luke, because he's gonna come, like, oh, so what all happened? And he's just gonna have missed all of this. And it's like, oh, I wish you could have been there, my boy. Well, I could have been if you told me where you were going.
I know he must be there somewhere because he was in the cutscene when Layton came in and went, "I'll be the Inquisition," but
Yeah.
it's just kind of sad, like kind of more funny that he's not there. You made me miss it all. What some friend you are.
Maybe he's in the gallery. Maybe.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because I guess maybe Layton doesn't need a sidekick in this instance. He's able to sort of handle it himself, as opposed to Nick, who obviously needs Maya's help. Definitely.
Hey!
No, I still like to imagine he is there behind the bench,
On
but
like a
as
box,
proved, he can't see above the desk, so he's just kind of keeping quiet in the.
You can't hear him over the top.
No.
I've been talking the entire time. Nobody really heard me.
As you wish.
Oh. So we went up to the belfry. The festival celebration's already started. Next thing I can remember is running to Spella's side.
So we should probably examine the mechanism, right?
Yes. Was it, Oh, maybe she'll... Of course, the Spella's woke up now. Oh, we better start from the beginning again.
Hold it! You needed both pendants to access the belfry, correct?
Well, I was to bring my
Squirrel's
mother's.
pendant.
That wasn't
Okay,
the
I guess,
only...
let's just
Yeah,
skip
sorry.
through
I was expecting us to go through it, but then I realized it's going to be the same, isn't it? So what happened? And then celebration's already started.
Probably on this one, if I were to guess.
Maybe.
Yes, easily.
Yeah, it is weird that I can't use my controls. It's not annoying at
You
all.
can't use frickin' my controls.
I can't use the controls that I've set up for it. This restricts access. You need a key. I was careful. And that became his undoing. By the way, how old were the girls at the time? 6 and 8. Okay. Then. Okay.
No. Interesting.
The next thing I remember is coming to Espella's side. Let's see. Espella's lying on the ground. I sprang to my feet, ran to her side. And what was the situation at the town? We didn't see because we were too focused on each other. Was Espella still conscious? I was hoping she'd wake up. Okay. I was shaking until she finally... It was this one, wasn't it, where we got to? So it was you who woke Espella up. Yes, it was me. She was out cold, curled up on the floor. As soon as she came to, she turned to look at the town to that nightmarish view stretching out before
Ah,
us.
there it is.
There we go. Yeah, so excuse me, and come on. There we go.
Hang on! Excuse me, Espella.
Does it make sense? Because, like, she comes out of her stupor and now she can perhaps shed light on... She can shed light specifically on what happened when Eve sort of came to her and whatnot. Did you say excuse me, Espella Taylor? Sorry, by the way.
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
you did.
Apologies, I missed it. I was too busy. I was lost in thought.
Spella? Are you okay?
Well, Maya, she's clutching her head in pain, so I'm gonna guess no.
All right, jeez. Yes, everything's fine.
My
Editor's note.
my apologies for bringing back such troubling memories.
Oh, it's a fine thing for you to say sorry now, Layton.
Well, I haven't been able to speak with her until now, have I, Mr. Cantabella? She's been in a state of hallucination or reverie.
Catatonia,
Yes.
actually.
Well, yes, well, thank you. Nevertheless, you must endeavor to face them and overcome the power they hold over you.
Yes.
You could say she has to face up, own up, and reach out to the truth.
Not quite sure what that little melody you did there was, Taylor, but I got the lyrics.
Yes.
Rude.
I remember it now. The fire dragon. I summoned it because I'm Basella.
No, Espella, it was just an illusion.
No, you're wrong, Dad. It wasn't an illusion. It was fact. If I hadn't rung the bell, none of this would have happened.
Can't refute that part.
Basella is the bringer of disaster. That's what I've done to our town.
Ack.
The accused run away! Quick, after her! She's run into the bell tower! Darn it! She's locked herself in!
I'm assuming that these are some, like, court bailiffs and
The
whatnot.
vigilantes.
Oh, yeah, like, what is it like?
I was trying to tell you that she was a but no one listened to it.
She's locked herself in. It's no use.
It's no use. We'll have to break down the door to get in. All right, Shaky, we're gonna use you as a battering ram.
Maybe it is. No, that girl, she's got a zibble chun chun chamilde herself. Zibble chun 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 chamilde herself.
Stay away from me!
And then she rings the bell and they all fall asleep.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no! What solution, Espella? Oh. Espella?
Espella, be careful! It's dangerous up there!
Please, Espella, come down!
I'm sorry, everyone. I have no right to be here anymore.
Jesus.
Nick! Espella's going to do something crazy!
Yeah, you think? I can see that! But what the heck can I do?
Maybe Luke can... Espella, please, do not make any hasty decisions.
Has Luke been up there the...
Oh, God. Mr. Layton.
The truth is close now. Be brave for a little while longer.
I'm not sure if I should feel hurt that, he was able to immediately grab your attention to calm you and I wasn't, but that's okay. That's not what's important right now.
I have a calming voice, Mr. Wright.
Yeah.
The allure of the British gentleman.
The truth. As if that wasn't already clear. Oh, I've said it wrong.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The message is there.
The message.
Yeah.
Shut up, Taylor!
Now.
Pete's going and Zibble Chow Chun Chun Shamil himself.
I'll Zibble Chun 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 Shamil you in a minute.
Oh my god, guys, right? Bingo cards,
All right,
everybody!
yeah.
If I hadn't rung that bell, everything would have been fine.
Objection!
You're really objecting to me right now.
You may be mistaken. You still don't know the whole story.
Hey, Layton, maybe it would be helpful if instead of leaving us along a trail of breadcrumbs to the truth, you can actually just say what you know.
I mean, there is that. Huh?
Isn't that so, Mr. Wright?
Oh, pressure!
What? I mean, I had the
You keep telling yourself that, Nick.
Shut it, Maya! I had the same feeling when I was listening to Eve's testimony.
Something tells me
Christ.
we're gonna need a safety save
I
in a
think
minute.
so.
I felt something was not Phoenix Wright.
Really? I thought that was pretty much it.
No, Maya, don't try to claim credit now.
I'm not.
The pieces of the puzzle that don't yet fit are themselves the hints to the solution.
No way. I mean, Bella didn't ring the bell? What? Nonsense. Of course she did.
As it stands, it's hard to say for sure that she didn't ring the bell. However, we've got evidence that will clear any doubts.
Oh boy. Show us this so-called evidence you claim to have then.
Oh, guys, we should probably examine what that mechanism looks like or something like that.
Yeah, probably. So I'm just gonna do a little excusez-moi, ladies and
A
gentlemen.
little excusez-moi.
Like,
Excusez-moi.
excuse. Right, okay, cool.
What do you think proves the speller didn't ring the bell?
So, okay, the invisibility robe, the bell tower plan, the vigilante's report, footprint sketch. So there's the pendant. So Darklaw had one of the pendants. Obviously, the speller had the other. We know what the fire dragon looks like. And then the top floor device, a device for ringing the bell of ruin. Even a child can use it.
See, it's like, was the speller tall enough to use it? But she's still
But then
a
it's
child?
yeah.
That's got to be what's related. I just am not sure how, considering that there's not any additional detail.
Device for ringing the bell. And a child can use it. I just don't. Proves that she didn't ring it.
I feel that they...
Sketch of the entire bell tower. Let's have a look at the bell tower. I'm seeing entrance. I don't think this is.
No, I don't think there's anything.
Okay. Visibility robe ain't gonna be helpful. Case outline.
I mean, unless whoever... No, I suppose whoever rang it, that was before they even made the invisibility robe. It's got to be the top floor device. Take that!
But how?
Espella, can you hear me?
Yes!
Where you're standing now is the same spot from where you saw this fire dragon.
Okay.
Is it on the other?
Yes, that's right. This fretwork here is the same as what I saw that day.
And the mechanism isn't on that side.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she could. Oh, but she. Oh, for her to.
They fell unconscious immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And then when she wakes up and the first thing she sees is the
That.
dragon. Oh, Jesus Christ! Right.
Oh,
When I look at it now.
when I look at it now, it seems so small, even adorable.
Oh no.
Weird language.
Defense! What does this have to do with anything?
As you will no doubt recall, Mr. Cantabella told us that people who drink the groundwater here suffer from a condition.
Yeah, and they fall unconscious before they even register the sound. So there's no kind of like way they could move.
No.
Yeah. A condition where they fall unconscious from the moment they hear the sound of pure silver. Oh God, now she's gone and rung it.
Nah.
After the bell sounded.
Well,
Oh, no.
I guess we're on our own, Nick. Everyone's asleep. Guess we'll just pass some time.
You recovered consciousness sooner than Espella. You ran to her side and shook her awake. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw the fire dragon. In other words, if it was Espella who rang the bell, that would mean the device for ringing the bell must be very close to the fretwork of the dragon. Espella, can you please check that for me? See if the contraption is located near the dragon fretwork.
Okay. Give me a minute. Mr. Wright!
Espella, did you find it?
I don't know if it's the right thing.
Let me turn it and see.
There's something on the other side of the belfry. A contraption with a handle. What? On the other side?
That's a face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's right. I figured there was something weird when we went up to the bell tower, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
No. No way.
You see where I'm going with this, don't you, Ms. Belduke? If it was Espella who rang the bell, there's no way she could have seen the fire dragon when she woke up.
No! No! This can't be right.
And so she did the thing that kids do of blaming the other one, and then she's obviously convinced herself that it's the truth.
Yeah.
An excellent deduction, Mr. Wright. Miss Darklaw, it seems everything is now clear as day.
Wait, did she ring the bell then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Darklaw rang the bell. Obviously, everything went to pot. And then she went to Espella, and when the grown-ups came up, she blamed it on Espella because she didn't want to get in trouble, because that's what kids do.
Please don't be angry. Please don't be angry at Espella. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that everything is now clear as day.
What? What do you mean?
I've got a very big pill here, and I'm afraid you're going to have to do your very best to swallow.
Well...
Why, of course. I mean the answer to the question of who rang the bell.
It was her. It had to be.
What do you say, Mr. Wright? Objection?
It looks like we've arrived at the same conclusion. We now know that only one person could have done it. Wait. What good will saying it out loud do?
Is there a problem, Mr. Cantabella? We have to say objection in unison. You understand this, right? It wasn't your daughter who rang that bell. Should that not lift some burden off your shoulders? Are you not curious to know the name of the true culprit who has pinned the blame on your daughter all this while?
How about you stop taunting us? Just say the name already. Who is the true culprit?
Eve the cat.
Let's do it, Professor.
Not here.
Are you ready?
Mr. Wright. Now is not the time to come on to me.
Well...
I am always ready, Mr. Wright. It's time to set things straight. The person who rang the bell is
Eve.
The cat.
The cat.
You want me to do it?
No.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to have a funny dialogue for this. It's too serious. Have a look.
Ha! It's you, Eve Belduke.
me. But
There were only the two of you in the belfry at the time. You know that better than anyone.
And as it wasn't a speller who rang the bell, it had to be you.
That's preposterous. It can't be true.
It was an extremely traumatizing event for both you and a speller. Your friend's memories were altered from the shock without her even realizing it. She believed she was a witch who rang the bell and summoned a dragon, which incinerated the town. However, Miss Belduke, Espella wasn't the only one whose memories were warped by the horrors you two witnessed. You were affected as well.
No! It wasn't me. Espella, she rang the bell. It was her, not me. But why? What are these flashbacks? I've never had these before.
What's the matter? I don't want to do this now. We'll be taken over by Bestella. Bestella's just a fairy tale. And you're the one who said she wanted to come up and ring the bell. I did, but I changed my mind. After coming all this way?
I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
That's pretty traumatic.
I think that deserves a holy shit.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna tell you off.
I don't even think that's. I'm not even going to censor that.
What?
Like this,
Darling,
it's not
you
that
can't.
big. It's not that big of a one. But like, my
Wow.
God,
That is, yeah.
Espe-
Ouch.
Oh, especially with the initial innocence of it as well. It's just, oh man.
Jesus, that's pretty dark, man.
I'm going to assume this is Layton, I guess. That nightmare was too much for two young girls to take in.
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
Your young minds needed to protect themselves. That's why you subconsciously repressed those memories.
Jesus Christ. Then, if that's true, past 10 years, I've been pinning the blame what I've done on Espella. It can't be. It can't be true. It's impossible!
Nope.
Oh.
Ah!
Darklaw's just disappeared!
She's donned the invisibility robe.
High Inquisitor Darklaw! She's run away!
But did you hear?
But did you hear that? It was her that once destroyed this town.
Our lives have already been messed up so much. We don't need this now.
She's got to pay for what she did. Capture her!
Oh, Nick! Look at the bell tower! Espella's gone.
No! Oh, she's on the roof.
Oh boy. I beg you, don't blame Eve. It really doesn't matter anymore who rang the accursed bell. This town was all created for me. It's my fault you've all been used and suffered so much.
Spella! What are you saying? Please calm down right now! You haven't done anything wrong. It was all my fault.
Dad, I know that you did this for me. You've been so kind to me. And what did I do? I selfishly ran away from home.
Spella.
I will finish your story for you.
Oh, jeez.
The evil witch will be gone forever, and everyone will live happily ever after. Dad, thank you for everything you've done for me. Oh boy.
Wait! Don't do it, Spella! Ah!
What are you?
Isn't that Darklaw?
But why, Eve? Why would you? I finally remembered everything I've done. You're not the only one who remembered. You still have the pendant. Yes, of course. That's because somehow I always knew it was important to me. Spella, you kept your pendant as well, didn't you, Eve? For some reason, I just couldn't let it go.
Spella! Miss Darklaw!
Quick! They'll fall if we don't do something!
Let's go. We have to save them.
No, you won't make it there in time.
Why?
The wooden handrail Eve's holding onto is rotted through. We need some sort of magic to save them.
No way!
Magic, you say?
Got an idea, Professor?
If a bit of magic is all that's needed to save these two young ladies, then perhaps that is something I can arrange.
What? You can?
Oh! Look out! You'll fall!
Eve! You have to let go! Otherwise you'll fall too!
Professor?
And Nick's mind is just completely...
Wait a minute!
What's going on here? Anyone?
Professor? You're a sorcerer?
He's gotten the shades to help, hasn't he?
No, Miss Fay. We have already established that magic doesn't exist. even in this town.
But then how did you just do that?
What you have just seen was the last and greatest illusion within Labyrinthia.
Are we going to find out now?
Huh? An illusion? Gravity isn't real.
Magic is but an illusion, and this illusion has been produced through the power of suggestion and Librellum's medication. Everyone in Labyrinthia has been under this particular magic spell. This particular magic spell. Now then, shall we break the spell?
Magic is the last mystery to be solved.
You've seen through all my tricks, Layton.
I wouldn't have done it without the vital hint you gave me when we spoke in your tower.
The final spell is concealed at the start.
Okay, so what does that mean?
As you know, all the spells are listed within this book. Oh, the first spell in the grimoire?
Oh, maybe.
As you know, all the spells are listed within this book.
Right! The Grand Grimoire!
Now, what did Mr. Cantabella mean by the start?
The front cover?
Precisely, Mr. Wright. The final spell shall dispel the illusion. The correct incantation is hidden on the front cover itself.
I feel a puzzle coming on.
I feel a puzzle too.
Oh, the slow.
Well then, Mr. Wright, this is the final puzzle. Soon, a new day will begin for the townspeople. Let us put an end to this illusion, once and for all.
Yeah.
The sassy smug pose. Oh, goodness me. Okay, oh no. Puzzle 70. 90 per carat!
90 per carats!
It's gonna be hard, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
no!
Hidden on the cover of the Grand Grimoire are the characters that spell out the true magical incantation. Select the characters on the touchscreen and slide them over their counterparts on the tome's cover to make them vanish. The grand finale approaches. Remove the extra magical characters from the Grand Grimoire's cover to reveal the hidden incantation.
Alrighty. So we just slide him about. Okay.
Hopefully your controller works for this.
I'm using a mouse now. It's like, screw this. Okay, fine.
Oh,
on the
boy.
camera. Right, let's do it.
All right.
So
we've got an
I
S
see- yeah, I
on
see-
the left.
Yep, I see that. Yep, just there.
Yep.
Oh, and then some.
The E.
And then the little circle thing on the bottom right.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that.
yeah.
Sorry, the E at the
It's
top.
like an E shape, but that's on the top left.
Oh yeah. E.
Let's see.
I see this one.
Oh yeah.
Just there.
Yep.
And then that lightning bolt one is also on the bottom left.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
just
so
there.
it is. Yeah.
No, not that one. Not
No?
that one. No.
Sorry.
Go back. Close. Close it.
Oh right.
Not,
Sorry.
Not that. So the one
Hang on,
over on the right hand
I
side.
see that one.
Yep. Oh yeah, I see the little one.
Oh, there's
On the right there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the one I was referring to. One up. Yeah, that one in the middle on the left hand side.
Oh yeah, just there.
Oh yeah. And then.
I don't see where this.
Oh, hang on. That 3 is on the top right.
Yeah, the B, 3B.
The check mark one also on the bottom left.
The check mark.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
bottom
yeah.
left.
Oh yeah. Trying to find that one with the dot. Oh, it's there. It's
Where?
really concealed. Right. Bottom right.
Oh.
No, go on.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my mouse wasn't quite in the right place.
Yeah, it's
there.
like really hidden.
Well spotted,
So
Sarah.
it's really hidden. What's that one? Is it that? No. Ooh, sneaky.
I think it is that one on the upper right,
Yeah,
actually.
I feel like it's like. Yeah. Oh.
I still can't read this.
Huh.
I think we've got it.
Ha! We've got it.
Yay!
Woohoo!
We got
No
90
hint coins
for carrots.
necessary.
we got pickerets. The sun is rising, and when it does, its light will reveal the truth behind Labyrinthia's mysteries.
Now, Professor?
Yes. Shall we, Mr. Wright?
Telenda!
Was that there the whole time?
What's that?
Crikey.
So this is the real magic behind Labyrinthia.
Excellent work, my boy.
Huh? Hey, it's Luke!
But how did he... Okay.
This is when you really wish you couldn't remember the ending of a game. This is when you could erase a
Absolutely.
memory. It would be this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's one or two
This
machines.
blew my mind.
Hang on a second. The town's full of machinery?
So much for magic. It was all done with these machines?
That's right. With magic, witches can fly, buildings can disappear. Those are no easy feats to stage. To make all those incredible things real, we needed a great deal of machinery.
That's where all that government funding's gone.
Yeah.
Couldn't he have just, I don't know, made the magic a bit simpler?
A witch would say the incantation, and shades would stop time with their silver bells.
And they'd go wild with these machines, making all sorts of crazy stuff happen. That's so cool. I'd love to try it.
No, Maya.
I took a quick crash course before operating the machines. Not bad, eh?
That's it. Luke, like I say, never doing it haphazardly, always reads the instructions. He's got his full...
That was what he was doing in the court
Yeah.
case. He was
That's
reading
it.
the instructions for the freaking cranes.
Yeah.
Luke got his forklift driving license is what happened.
Hell yes.
Yes, Luke. Yes, Luke. What would we do without you?
So when's my turn? I want to pick something up off the ground and make it fly through the air. Like Nick.
I wish you'd stop looking at me when you say that, Maya.
In any case, I think we should head back to the courthouse.
Right you are, Professor. The judge might have fallen asleep waiting for us.
I think we've blown enough people's minds.
I think he's probably gone out of his tiny mind. Oh, the sun has risen above Labyrinthia, and has shown us our town's true form. Well, I really don't think there is any need for a verdict anymore. The witches on trial weren't witches, after all. I am deeply relieved that those I have sentenced are still alive and well. At last I can step down from this seat with a clear conscience.
And back to my old job of being a banker.
And now, the final verdict in the last witches' court session ever to be held.
Even though I said that I actually don't need to give a verdict.
Not guilty.
Yay!
Well, if I'm going to say it, I'm going to go out with a bang. It's the last time I'm going to say it and get a chance to bang my gavel.
It's like, for God's sake, man, let me have this.
Oh, Christ. Oh, it's the...
It's Turnabout Sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not Turnabout
I'm
Sisters.
very grateful for all the help, Professor.
Not Turnabout Sisters, the end of the trial sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
The feeling is mutual, Mr. Wright. A gentleman always fights for the truth. I could not have done otherwise. Whoa!
Looming
I
presence.
didn't realize how much of a unit he was.
The judges are. They're all absolute units.
Well, it's that angle, isn't it? That upward angle at them.
True.
And that stance.
I mean-
That's a power stance right there.
Yeah.
I mean, say Shirojugoku beats them all. He is the ultimate unit.
Yeah.
But they're all pretty big units, like, below him.
Pretty unit-like.
Unit-like, yes.
Well, he is their descendant, probably.
True.
They're his descendants.
Yeah.
I'd like to congratulate the two of you. You both did splendidly in court.
Oh, it's the judge.
You've brought to light the truth about this town. Though I still find it astonishing that we could not see all of this. I cannot even begin to imagine how it was achieved.
Money. Lots and lots of money.
Elementary, really.
You were all given a very simple instruction when you were hypnotized. You cannot see pure black. That was sufficient.
And that is why they could see the robe only when it was covered in flour. Because
it wasn't pure
makes
black
sense.
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see.
Haha.
These strange contraptions are made from some sort of black metal.
Well, they could have just been painted, dude.
Wait just a second. There are plenty of black objects all over Labyrinthia, aren't there?
They're actually a
I mean, if you look at you, like, storyteller, I mean, you'd just be a floating head and arms and half a face, I suppose.
Like a green screen accident gone wrong.
Yeah, that's right. My hair's charcoal black too.
No, you've actually been bald this entire time, Maya.
What?
But it is not pure black.
What?
I had to paint it in Vanta black.
Yep. What we often perceive as the color black is in fact far from being pure black. Our brains interpret reflections of light as colors. Objects which reflect even the smallest amount of light are not pure black. So really, you'd expect the machinery to be much more silhouetted, because the fact that we can see some details
That
on
definition,
it
yeah.
suggests that it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
pure black. But let's not pick it apart.
Pure black is only encountered within nature as darkness.
Darkness, sir?
Darkness.
Darkness?
Darkness. The machines in Labyrinthia are coated in a special material developed by Labyrinth
Oh,
Inc.
of course.
Because some sod decided that he was going to try to keep all of the Vanta Black for himself, we developed an even blacker black than Vanta Black and called it Ultra Vanta Black, just to stick it to him.
The only place where we were able to sample that material is by using our special metal to unlock the Kingdom Hearts and collect
Oh
all
my
of the darkness that
God.
harbored within.
It absorbs light without reflecting any. It is the only material that can be said to be pure black.
Oh, I bet this invisibility robe is also made of that same material, right?
Okay, now we're gonna circle back to the moving statues and the flying witches in the real world from the beginning,
Yeah.
Mr. Storyteller.
And so yeah,
we're gonna.
That's something I would be very interested if anyone in the comments has
you have a theory.
theory or explanation for this, because yeah, that was the one thing that I remembered as being a bit of a plot hole.
Yeah, because it's like maybe
Animatronics.
Like, maybe you could have argued that obviously if a speller had got, like, her book, the Historia Labyrinthia, and it was sort of the powder, and it was sort of hallucinogenic, it's like, you'd explain that, but then the handprint on the car...
Well, just the statues coming, like, the handprint on the car and the statues, like, attacking them and
Well,
whatnot.
the
I suppose
statues
they're
attacking him
hallucinating.
could have been hallucinogenic.
Yeah, I guess.
And, like, obviously Layton and Luke seeing the witch and everything could also have, you know, if they've got somebody's mentioned, they were talking about witches, so of course, impressionable mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, unless Carmine was really going hell for leather and somehow managed to flip that car up into the
Up
air
into
and
a
hit.
tree.
Yeah, and it hit. Well, I suppose if it hit the tree.
It went up into
Yeah.
a tree and got a handprint on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had it.
Wow.
anyway.
And then also, who was responsible for actually transporting Luke and Maya and Layton?
Well, that'll have been Dark Law, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
She was the witch in
But
the
like,
beginning.
why? I guess because she wanted to ruin the story.
Well,
that
so
makes sense.
Nick and Maya getting there was done because they went on the boat. And didn't they say that Carmine left Labyrinthia by boat?
No. Nick and Maya wound up there because right after the trial, they found the Historia Labyrinthia and looked at it.
They did.
And then they were warped.
But weren't they on a boat?
No, that was right after the court case where they proved that Espella was innocent.
Or was that? Am I confusing it with Layton and Luke?
Say, Layton and Luke put a speller on the boat. Then it ended up at the court case.
Okay, I'm hazy. It's been a year. Leave me alone.
Anyway,
That's correct. And of course, the bell tower was concealed using the very same material as well.
When you think about it, this town abounds in all things invisible.
like Maya's intelligence.
Hey! I'd like to make you invisible, Nick. Huh?
Miss Darklaw, or should I say, Miss Belduke.
Oh, dressed down. Yes.
For 10 long years, your memories had been suppressed.
How does it feel to now realize you're a murderer?
Ugh, Jesus. The truth about what occurred in the belfry was invisible to me, you mean?
Mr. Cantabella and your father knew it all along. They knew who actually rang the bell.
What? Did they really? Is that true, Cantabella?
As we have demonstrated, it was easy to deduce from the situation in the belfry.
But if he knew that all along, why didn't he say something?
Because hubris. It was, of course, for your own good.
Don't be angry at her.
Because they wanted to get back at you after 10 years for being such a naughty little girl.
You were trying to pin the blame for that disaster on Espella.
Yes, I was. But if you knew that, why did you keep quiet about it? If you had only scolded me back then for lying, maybe Espella wouldn't have suffered such trauma.
It was your eyes, Eve.
What?
Your eyes weren't those of a liar. You believed in what you said. You truly thought it was Espella. What you saw was too much for you to bear. Your mind blocked out the real memory of what happened in order to maintain your own sanity. Had I called you a liar then,
You would probably have suffered a mental breakdown. Mr. Cantabella and your father created this town. You were mistaken, thinking it was purely for Espella's sake. It was also for you, Miss Belduke. Remember what your father wrote in his suicide note?
I've only two concerns. The first is my daughter. It pains me to be leaving her alone in this world, although she probably doesn't think of me as her father.
Oh, I thought that was
Which we
Grey
thought
Earl.
was referring to
Grey
Grey
Earl.
Earl.
I had an argument with my father once. He was always thinking only about the town, paid no attention to me.
So you moved out and broke off contact with him. But you were wrong about your father. Not a single day passed without him thinking about you. He helped to make the story I was weaving a reality. For your sake.
I've been so ignorant.
Yes. Now, do you feel a little bit guilty about trying to kill a speller
not
and
helping.
also punish me?
I was so convinced Father was driven to suicide by you.
I'm not going to say I told you so, but
Perhaps now is not the time, Mr. Cantabella.
I didn't say it. I specifically said
Could you
that
please,
I was not going to say it.
Please, for Miss Belduke's sake, and Dispella's, your father couldn't bear the sense of guilt he had accumulated over the past 10 years. Even though he, with the smile.
Well,
Man, have some
Jeebles
decorum.
Creebles, Layton! Holy moly!
Even though he
Jesus.
killed himself in the end. Like Jesus Christ.
Put it a little bit more delicately.
I wasn't ready! I wasn't ready!
Professor, I don't think that's a very gentlemanly thing to say right now.
Just breaks out the cock. He's like, I mean, I know he offed himself, but honestly, I mean, he still cared about you.
Oh my god.
Even though he killed himself in the end, I believe you were always the most important person to him.
Layton, you have such an extensive vocabulary. I am positive you could have thought of a more delicate way to phrase that.
I'm still gobsmacked.
Spella?
Espella, probably, yeah.
Eve? Spella?
Can we be friends?
Spella, what I did to you is unforgivable. I rewrote your story, putting you through all this. I can't believe I went to such an extreme because of one wrong assumption. No, it's okay, Eve. I wasn't angry. You weren't. You've always been on my side, protecting me. And even today, you saved my life. Spella. I also owe you an apology. After all, I forgot about my dearest friend. I'm so sorry, Eve.
Meow.
Meow. Darklaw, really?
She was actually talking to the cat the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are, Eve. Are you?
Where were you?
Where were you?
Meow.
Your cat's called Eve. You know what I've just noticed?
Is she going to comment on the fact that she has a very cat-like design?
Yeah. You two are very much alike.
Ha!
You and Eve, the cat.
Yeah, we didn't kind of keep suspecting that they were the same
What?
person.
It's all in your head.
Meow.
It looks like Eve has taken a liking to the other Eve.
You've got that right. And the similarity is really striking. Really?
Meow.
Oh dear.
No. And can you believe we're only halfway through the game?
Stop it.
My accidental guests, Professor Layton and Mr. Wright.
Yes.
I must say, I am indebted to you.
Don't mention it, but, you know, I mean, I would accept a cash reward.
Yeah. You know, when I started planning my revenge 3 months ago,
This is very brutal. I remember this.
Mr. Layton was a part of my plans. I needed to lure him to Labyrinthia.
Why me?
You were famous in London, and word of your skills reached me even here. What's more, you specialize in mysteries. So I thought that if you came to this town, you'd feel compelled to solve ours.
Well, I am honored. I am honored.
That's cool. And, what about me? Surely you've heard about my legal record and everything.
Oh, well, about you. How should I put it?
I was even more important?
Your arrival here was purely accidental. Oops.
Oh, you mean it wasn't planned?
As you know, a speller escaped and got involved in that incident on the freighter.
That accidentally, you could say.
Oh, God. As a consequence, I had no choice but to bring you here.
I see. I shouldn't have asked. My fragile pride has suffered yet another blow.
Are you sure you got any left at this point? Nick, you can't escape your fate.
Shut up, Maya!
You're doomed to always find trouble if it doesn't find you first.
How about some words of sympathy for a change?
Oh, that would go against everything that I fought for, really. I am terribly sorry. The only thing on my mind the last 3 months was revenge.
Whatever your intentions were, the last witch trial has ended in the best possible way for this town. You were correct in your judgment. You always are.
You're too kind to me.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Eve, for opening my eyes.
Well, one of them.
The
at
one that's
least.
not covered by the mask.
Sorry to break up this little happy ending, but
We're gonna run out of storage space on the
I've-
cartridge soon.
I've sort of got an important question. Why were you going to end the story?
Oh no, the music fading out. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Only Newton knew the real reason. I am suffering from an
Incurable illness?
Oh, no.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
suffering from an incurable illness.
But what?
Dad? You're ill? Is it serious?
Uncurable.
It's stage
Espella.
10.
Stage 10.
He's got dooms.
It is a rare disease with no known cure. I have reached out to Dr. Gregory House, but unfortunately, he has not answered my calls.
It's called labyrinthitis.
No. It's lupus.
Oh, it is lupus.
It is lupus. Why didn't you tell me? Had I known.
I wanted this to be my secret. I suppose that was a bad decision on my part.
One of many.
Shut up. I thought I'd finish the story before I died and lay the foundations for a new world. Honestly, I was desperate. I didn't much care about Labyrinthia anymore.
Dad? Why did it have to happen to you? Especially now that we're finally back together.
Cheer up, Espella.
How can I?
Labrum's new drug development center contacted me a short while ago. They have succeeded in creating a new medicine, thanks to Belduke's research. It's a top-secret wonder drug for my illness.
A wonder drug.
Newton had been working on finding a cure for my illness until the very end. It would seem that the cure was his final gift to me.
My father.
Newton was the truest friend I ever had. I'm going to undergo surgery. Do not fear, I shall return. So, stop making that sad face, Isabella. I said stop.
Dad, will everything be back to how it once was?
Of course it will.
And Eve? Will you still be my friend? Of course.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop by Miss Clara's bakery. I've got so much to tell her. Do you mind if I go, Dad? It won't take long.
Is this where we're going to have to remember the voices of characters we haven't seen in absolutely ages?
Oh no, are they gonna do like a where
The
are they now
montage.
with each of them?
The
Oh,
montage, yeah.
Of course not. Please do.
Looks like Eve wants to come too. What? Oh, you meant the cat.
Meow.
Espella, mind if we tag along? Not at all. You're welcome to come. Yay! Awesome! Maybe we'll get some tasty baked bread out of this.
I thought we were going there for a different reason. Oh, well, anyway, I'll be off then, Professor.
Pass on my regards to Mrs. Eclair, Luke.
Will do. I'm gonna stuff myself silly with bread.
Fill up on bread.
Fill up on bread.
So, what's going to happen to the town?
I love that you predicted that.
I have released everyone from hypnosis. They will soon recover the memories of their lives before Labyrinthia.
And it's going to be like Squid Game, where they're out there and they're like,
Oh, Jesus.
man,
I wanna go
our
back."
lives are crap. Let's go back.
As of today, Project Labyrinthia is over.
I see.
They are free to leave if they so wish. I imagine they will make a run for it. This place will turn into uninhabited ruins, just like it was 10 years ago.
Well, if you pull the funding, yeah, but...
I have some doubts about that.
oh my God.
No, Barnum, maybe?
Oh, it could be. Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
the
just-
judge.
I have some thoughts about that.
Oh, was it?
Your Honor! Barnum's like in the cell, like, I do hope I haven't missed anything interesting when I've been locked up here.
I now understand that this town is an artificial creation of yours. Nonetheless, to us Labyrinthians, the past 10 years were real.
No one can yet tell how this town will change. However, it is possible that some people will want to stay.
I think I would.
Yeah. Who knows? Perhaps you will find yourself creating a new town along with them.
A Newton.
Taylor, too soon.
A new town, you say?
I thought you were going to do it again. I'm going to be honest.
I am no longer the judge,
Just a banker.
but if possible, I would like to remain here.
But you have my gratitude, Your Honor.
You need not address me as Your Honor anymore, Sir Storyteller.
It's just
You can call me
I was
Frank.
going to say, it's just Phil.
Just Phil.
And so, the last witch trial has drawn to a close.
Oh, damn! It's over!
Or is it?
Oh, no.
Oh, it looks like it. Maybe?
Is it?
The epilogue. Is that a spell?
Oh. What did Mr. Wright, Mr. Layton, and my father talk about? That... I do not know.
I could have asked, but I chose not to.
But Dad made a promise to me.
Unless this is Eve even.
Once everyone recovers their memories and he is cured of his illness, he will return to write a new story with everyone's help.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, Jesus. War of the Worlds.
Alien.
I'm thinking
This time.
zombies.
Oh no. This time, the story will be real, without any lies or illusions.
Oh, but illusion's the best part.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just medieval life simulator, which not so appealing.
Yeah. I mean, less burning, hopefully.
Huh?
To whom should I serve dinner today?
Hey, move! Out! The way!
What a beautiful sound.
Almost as if it's bringing in a new beginning for the town.
Thank you, Eve.
Okay then. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Barnum.
What?
Thank you! Thank you so much for everything! Spella, you take care now!
You too, Mr. Cantabella. Bye!
Be sure to visit again!
You can bet on it!
I wish all of you the very best.
Bye!
Goodbye!
Mr. Wright, I knew I could count on you to stand your ground and fight me to the very end.
Me too. I always believed in you, Professor. And I know that's why we managed to get to the mysterious truth behind this town.
When we get back to England, we'll drop by and see you, Luke.
Oh, great! I'll show you around London. Huh?
Oh, crap! I forgot my wallet.
Oh, Nick.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Oh, statues. Very good.
Statues. Nice.
Well, guys,
Holy crap! It's done! We did it! Oh my
we
god!
made it to the end.
Well, we made it to the end of the main story. Now we have the additional content.
course, yes.
There's some extra.
Yeah, I
little
never
bits.
knew about them at
No.
all.
No, me neither.
Oh wow, Darlock looks very different without the cat ears.
Yes.
And the claw.
The claw,
Yes. I mean, Barnum looks a little different when he's not in his armor.
He looks a little cash, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Amia. Oh, there's
There's your boy.
Yes.
Though the town may be gone, I still continued my exploits.
Oh, get these ruddy lambs
There's
off
still
me!
so much dinner to make.
How am I supposed to sell my potatoes?
No, darling, get these bloody rabbits off of me.
Oh, you.
Oh, Grail.
And oh my goodness.
Oh my god, Chippin.
Thingy's name.
Riddell and,
Kira. Kira's looking very sassy there.
Oh, he's
Oh, it's Robs and Mugs. There they are. Look at that big teeth.
Yeah, we were alive the whole time, weren't we?
We was.
Oh, Christ.
Thistle and petal. Thistle and petal. Don't you be so mean.
So, Taylor, how did you find the ending?
Oh, hang on a second, though.
Oh, hang on,
obviously
actually,
this-
hang on.
Yes.
I'm gonna...
Yes!
Oh, what wonderful songs we sing!
Oh, I didn't
As
see
we-
Burnley in
the
the
gavel?
background.
As we look at the
What sights I
attractive
have
behind.
seen.
Aw.
No.
No.
Anyway, yes, Taylor. Now you've had your little show. What did you think of the ending?
I honestly was thinking that I would be able to anticipate what the ending looked like. I did not. I was incorrect. I was very pleasantly surprised by kind of how things picked up at the end. It was a little bit like the Great Ace Attorney in the sense that it started off a little bit slow, but
Oh, one moment.
Oh,
You know, Professor, I feel like we've just finished reading a really long story.
Indeed, Luke. I know what you mean. It certainly was an enthralling adventure.
I wonder how Espella and the others back in Labyrinthia are getting on. I'd love to go back and see them. Although, I'd rather not have to be sucked into a book to get there.
Perhaps we should ask Carmine to come along with
Are you
us.
sure that's wise? Great! It's a real relief he recovered from his injury. But he was a bit put out when he found out that he'd already solved all the town's secrets, Professor.
Well, we mustn't forget that we didn't solve them all by ourselves. We couldn't have done it without the help of our friends across the Atlantic. What were their names again?
I wonder what they're doing right now. Or battling away in a courtroom somewhere.
I'd wager they may well be, Luke. At any rate, we must make our own preparations. There's a brand new case that requires our attention. And that means a brand new set of puzzles to be solved, my boy. We're going to see what Nick's doing.
hold it!
Oh,
What's the matter, Wright? Has the cat got your tongue?
oh,
Or are you still in a holiday kind of mood? Perhaps your mind is as clouded as the English sky.
any hints, Maya?
Not really. If only the professor were here. I think at this point you've got to use that patented spell of yours, Nick.
Patented spell?
Hello, Earth to Nick! Just when we think it's all over, you always use it to turn the tables? Do a turnabout?
Ah, got it. I just have to close my eyes and say the magic word. Luckily, I don't need a witch's scepter for this one.
Save the chit-chat for later, right? I've almost missed that utterly annoying spell of yours. Fine, let's hear it then. Just take a deep breath and give it all you've got.
Well, here goes. Objection!
Edgy! Yes! My edgy boy
it's
is
crazy.
back!
Isn't it crazy that they modeled him for this sequence?
I know,
and
right?
that's it.
Yes!
I just want to
don't
imagine that the
care.
intern who did it spent 3 days modeling it.
Yeah.
And okay, so yeah, he's gonna come in the middle or something, right?
Nope.
Right? It's the meme, isn't it, with the oh god.
Padme and Anakin,
Yes!
yeah.
Anyway, after my rude interruption, Taylor, I hear
No,
your mind was blown.
Yes, no, it was. I was. It really picked up a lot towards the kind of the later half of it.
Yeah.
Again, much the same way as the Great Ace Attorney did, and kind of sucked me in. I know that the game itself is kind of older, but I didn't really. I mean, well, the upscaling helped, but I didn't really feel like we were playing an older game. It was,
Yeah.
still very engaging. I thought they did a nice job of balancing out the puzzles and the court case.
Yeah.
And I know it took a while for the verses to get there, but I was very satisfied
happy to
when
get
the
the
versing did occur. Yes.
I mean, if anything, while we were waiting for that, we did create Wordsmith the Sex Pest. I mean,
That's true.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah. Wordsmith wouldn't exist. This version of Wordsmith would not exist
No.
without our playthrough.
no.
So that has
That's
to
true.
mean something.
It does.
Like I said, some of that I don't remember. I think it must have been like, oh my god, this is getting exciting.
Yeah, I remember, like absolutely plowing through the end of it. And so, when you obviously, in your excitement, you do that, you then, it just doesn't sink in. You get the big reveal. So like the town, the machines being revealed was the thing that I had that image in my mind. I could remember it clear as day. But everything leading up to that, I just couldn't remember. The whole thing about, Espella, the whole thing with Eve actually causing it and all that.
Yeah, I forgot that bit as well.
The railings, like seeing the dragon in the rail, none of that. Just did not remember any of that.
No.
So it was super cool to sort of get to even though I thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, I remember it all, to be able to sort of re-experience a lot of it without knowing was very, very, very cool.
So like...
Well, and again, considering it started off like so dark with like seeing the freaking witch dropped into the fire and everything, from going from that to kind of having a genuine happy ending, and it's like it was all a Chris Angel mind freak the entire time.
Yeah, just wow. The elaborate lie built on all of that is mental. But yeah, like even though it's not technically like a blind playthrough for me or Pete, from like my perspective, it kind of still felt like I was playing it again for the first time, and to some degree, because like Pete said, I can't remember some of like the bit with the trial when Dark Law's there and then she actually did it, and then it was like there was bits missing. Unfortunately, I remembered the ending, which is why I said, it's one of those times in which you could forget a memory. But I still love it. The logic's a bit,
I think,
a bit iffy in places.
The thing is, the thing about that though is I feel like, and I'm sure we'll get shot down or I'll get pitchforked or whatever, but like,
we'll all get pitchforked.
I feel like with the Ace Attorney games, there are leaps of logic at times, but you forgive it because the game as a whole is so much fun. That you just...
I stabbed her, and that alone proves I didn't kill her.
That's been debated to the ends of the earth in the comments as well. But like, and I think you forgive it because the games are just so enjoyable anyway, and it's not, you have the one or two moments that sort of are a bit disappointing, but then the whole ensemble is so sort of, is so enjoyable in its own right that you just don't care.
Yeah.
Every journey has like has a moment where something annoying happens or whatnot, but does it kind of like blemish the whole experience? No.
Yeah.
Of course not.
No, I mean,
it felt like a proper mystery, which I did like.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this one isn't very.
Well,
it's not like a fan favorite, but I absolutely love this game. Like.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that we've got to play it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, it's just really fun. It's just really fun, and it's kind of what's made me sort of think about, wanting to play Layton, which is why it's on the poll at the minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm in the same boat there. While we do own the Layton games, Sarah's played less of it than I have, and I've played like maybe an hour of The Curious Village. Not just because I've not been interested, it's just finding time to get to it and just, I guess, not really committing enough time to it. But we would like to play it. Yeah. And as Sarah sort of mentioned, playing through this is what kind of like started us on the idea of maybe actually playing that series.
Fuku LLC.
Well,
tricky.
Careful how you say that one. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it, guys.
No, it's been great fun. It's absolutely, and it's definitely, again, just playing it like this has been interesting. Just the way that we've sort of created characters and things like that. Again, I am referring to Wordsmith. Of course.
He's best boy. He's best boy. I'm
never going to be able to play this again without thinking of Wordsmith.
Oh no. Oh.
So
I suppose
he put down his quill.
Finn. The only other thing to say is, do you see
that magical spell of yours, Wordsmith? So, everybody watching, we hope you enjoyed this playthrough.
I hope you did.
We've enjoyed it very much.
Indeed.
And what I will say is, so we will be playing through the additional special episodes. So I know obviously we have a poll going for what game we're going to play next.
Yeah.
But that will obviously, the next game will be after we finish these additional episodes.
Yes, because it would be fun to see them, because I never knew they existed.
Yes, same.
You told me.
Yeah, and again, that would be genuinely fresh content for all three of us, which is very fun.
That would be a blind playthrough of those.
Yes. And so, you know, if you guys want to share how you felt about the game, or perhaps you felt differently, because I know some people have said that this hasn't been their favorite game. Has our playthrough changed that for you, or haven't experienced it? Did you enjoy it, or not? Like whatever. I mean,
or did you enjoy watching again if you have played through it before?
Absolutely. And so we'd be delighted to read through your comments.
Yes.
But I think we'll say thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, share with your friends if you think they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a great day.
See you in the next one.
Thank you so much for coming on this journey with us, everyone, and thank you for closing out another playthrough. And remember to join us for the next one.
Bye.